So I climbed on top of the truck floating in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like I lifted myself up and I'm thinking like I haven't seen a car in
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
My phone isn't working. And now I'm in like 8 layers of clothes that just got dunked in ice water. And
Soaking
it
wet in freezing
and
ice
it's
water. Yeah.
below freezing outside. So I'm
That's like
like,
a
fuck.
whole other survival
Yeah,
tale. Like that.
that's like part two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's just as dangerous. It's just the clock is like a little less,
Yeah. I
you know,
didn't die
pressing on you.
flipping. I didn't
Yeah.
drown.
Right.
And now I have to figure out how the fuck to get out of this mountain pass. Uh,
Do you at least
in the
have like
middle.
a flicker of relief about the first parts? Like you survived the crash, you didn't drown.
Yeah.
Are you like, fuck
Yeah.
yeah? And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, no, this is another scenario
I
where I could
I didn't
easily
really think
die.
like, oh no, now like I just thought like, okay, like my brain immediately went into, okay, how do I get out of this? How
Yeah,
do I get
right.
out of this? How do I
Right.
get out of this? It
Yeah.
was like there was just this weird like clear thinking drive that just like took over where so I get on top of the truck and I'm kind of looking around and then like the moon's really full so I can see the road a little bit. So I jump back into the water to swim to the edge. And when I do, I see like a glow in the water. So I grab it and it's my cell phone lit up and it's
What?
cracked. It's really, really cracked.
Yeah.
So I grab it, I climb to the side of the road. And this was before like satellite SOS on your iPhone. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like trying to do like the emergency thing,
Yeah.
but it's just so, it was like cracked really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just standing in the road. And then I start to see blood and I'm like, I can't figure out where it's
Oh
coming
my
from.
God. Yeah.
I can't figure out where it's coming from, and then I'm just like, okay, what I have two choices. Like I can, like, but I think my adrenaline was running so fast, I didn't really realize how cold I was
Mm-hmm.
at the time. Because I mean, but I was in layers, like layers and layers.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm like, well, my phone doesn't work, and I haven't seen a car in forever, so I just turn on my flashlight. So in
Oh, the phone,
case,
right? Yeah.
yeah, the flashlight still
I
works.
can't
So
believe
I'm
the
just like, in
phone works at
case
all. That's
dude, I
crazy.
couldn't believe it. It was floating in the water, like face down, and I see like the water glowing. So I grab it, and I'm like, holy shit, my phone.
Wow, dude. Wow.
And then I just start walking sort of in the middle of the road in the direction I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I said, I hadn't seen anybody or anything for a long
God. Yeah.
time. Um,
And what time is
and
it
so
now even? It's late,
it's
late,
like
right?
9 o'clock.
Okay, okay.
It's like between 9 and 9:30, I think. Um, and so I just start walking, and then I'm thinking like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm like, my hands were really bloody, but I couldn't tell where it's coming from. And I'm trying to untie my boots because I was just thinking like, oh, when you get wet in freezing water, you're supposed to take your clothes off. So I'm like
Yeah.
trying to take my clothes off,
Yeah.
but it's like I'm stumbling down this road, and then to the left of me, I see like what is like a campsite sign, but it's like
Oh.
way out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, I can either risk going up to this campsite that looks pitch black,
Yeah.
or keep walking down this road. And I'm like, oh, I'm in a mountain pass, so if I yell, it'll echo.
Right.
So I just start yelling help loud, like super loud, and you can
Uh-huh.
hear it like really reverberating. And I'm just like walking down the road, and it's been like I want to say like 5 minutes, um, and I can like feel cold now. I feel super cold now, um, and then I hear a noise, and I stop, and I'm like, oh, it's that river running. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, like the woods, like 100 yards behind me, I see truck lights come flying out of the woods. So I wave my flashlight,
Mm-hmm.
and this truck comes over, pulls over, and jumps out, and it's these two older dudes, and they're camping at that campsite,
Yeah.
and they're brothers, and they're retired highway patrolmen.
I mean, wow.
And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, my clothes are covered in blood, and I guess I'd been touching my face, so my
Uh-huh.
face was covered in
Oh
blood.
my God. They must have been like, this is
And they're
from
like,
hell.
yeah. So they jump out, and they're like, "Were you by yourself?" And I was like, "No, I was by my, yeah, I was by
Yeah, right.
myself."